Well, I think now that I butchered that last segment, I think I just listed all of the Chiefs when I meant to be talking about the 49ers.
It was good.
You
And
might
you
have
guys
done that. I had no idea.
I have no idea. I don't want to go back and look at it or listen to it and cut it out. It's just, if I screwed it up, I apologize. My apologies. So
He apologized. I thought we were gonna give him a hard time about it. But
Yeah, I thought so too.
now that I apologize, you can't. So.
No, I can't anymore. That's true.
But I'm sure you'll find a way to. So let's jump into how the Chiefs will win, even though I probably already listed half of their offense.
Yeah, you did. We have nothing to say.
no, we're done.
Tyreek
they're
Hill,
qu-
Travis Kelsey,
and of course,
Mahomes.
their quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think I completely butchered that, but we'll check the tape later. So Ryan, you start us off so we can stay on track here. How can the Chiefs win this game?
I mean, to piggyback on the point that Kyle just talked about, and it's really just the Chiefs need to score early. And they have to. They have to be competitive through this whole game, because I think if they are competitive and they just keep the game close, at some point the momentum will be in the Chiefs' favor. And Patrick Mahomes is one of those kind of guys where if he just smells a little bit of momentum, he just jumps all over it. And Tyreek Hill, same thing. Like if they need that big play, he's always going to be streaking down the field looking for that big play. They're just going to be waiting to pounce on those opportunities. So the Chiefs cannot get down early, and we brought this up last week, but they cannot get down early like they have been the last few weeks.
Yeah.
The 49ers are too good. They have too good of an offense, and their running game is so established, and their passing game can even be just like a run, too, with Kittle. They can run those short routes and just kind of keep the clock ticking down. So that's what they have to do. They have to keep it competitive early and then just go pound for pound with them until the unproven Jimmy Garoppolo makes his mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you kind of just agree like the offense is kind of the way to go here?
I do. I think, like Ryan was saying, if they do, it's not going to be the same. I don't see them being able to come back either necessarily the way they have in, the one was a huge comeback, wasn't it?
24 to nothing,
24
they were
point,
down.
Yeah. I don't see that being able to happen. So if they score early, they're going to be in the driver's seat. No two ways around it. The only other thing I was going to say is if they get into a tight game, I guess to a certain extent, let it come to you. I think, like I said before too, I think Mahomes is good enough that he's going to figure things out. It's not playing those other teams. I get that, but I think Garoppolo will make mistakes.
Yeah.
I could be way off on that. I don't know, but
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, he did have 13 interceptions in the regular season, which is a little higher. I mean, than I don't know what Mahomes threw, but I mean, they are prone to make mistakes when the defense forces it, basically. I think it's pretty simple on how the Chiefs win this game. It's basically Mahomes and his offensive weapons, whether it's Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, or Travis Kelsey through the air, Damian Williams or Mahomes himself on the ground. They have the opportunity to just find the next guy, find the guy that can expose. I mean, one of, if not the best defenses in the league with the 49ers. When you have this many weapons, you can answer that call, I feel like. And I feel like that's what they're going to have to do.
And if I was them, I would focus on locking down Bosa early. He seems to be that big play guy that gets the 49ers going early. He's got all the energy, comes out, makes the big plays. And if they can, maybe they need to throw a running back on top of him or do the whole tight end, brush to just kind of keep, excuse me, keep him from going around the outside and just slow him down a little bit. They need to get creative with how they're going to block him, because early on in the game, he disrupted the entire NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it by himself very early.
Yeah, and to kind of stick on the Chiefs here, I think the defense has progressed well throughout the season. Into the postseason, but they're 26th in rush defense, throughout the regular season, and that is basically playing right into the hand of the 49ers. And one thing you're ranked 26th in rushing, you also are playing with the lead a lot, where people aren't running the ball unless that's the only thing that's working. Yeah. So I feel like that's going to be interesting. This defense is going to have to play their best mistake-free football to contain the 49ers, I think, in a lot of ways.
That's the only other thing I was going to end with. If that defense shows up big time, that's the other way. If they can stop the 49ers,
yeah.
Of course, they say that's another kind of obvious thing, but
Yeah.
Right. So the Chiefs need to score more points.
Yeah, so
Right,
if you
that's
want any
what's-
more
right,
cliches
yeah.
go leading into this game, just
Yeah.
keep watching State
we
of
keep
Mind
hitting them,
Sport.
but it's like, but you don't
Bombshells.
expect them to necessarily. That's kind of why I think we're saying it. Like if they can do it, well, how do you win the Super Bowl? How do you win this game? Defense shut down the 49ers.
Yeah.
You got you know.
Yep. So a popular opinion that I'm hearing is the Chiefs have a very good defense, and it's just a little underrated. Since Week 11, they have the best defense in the league, but people aren't talking about who they played. They played the Chargers twice, the Raiders, Patriots, a bad Patriots team. Like that offense was absolutely terrible, and the Broncos. Yeah, you're gonna have the best defense in the league when you're playing those better teams. I think Chicago was in there as well. I don't know why I have that written down, but the numbers might be there, but you're not playing this caliber of an offense. I know people are talking about 49ers defense as a whole, like is their strong suit, but this offense is no slouch basically, and the Chiefs will have their hands full in that alone. So I guess I think we've talked about the offense and the defense of like the offense of the Chiefs, the defense of the 49ers. Is that kind of the most intriguing matchup in your guys' opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down Mahomes against just the pressure of the 4-man rush, or
Yeah.
even the 3-man rush. That's really intriguing. If they can get to Mahomes, you've already touched on it. That's such a key for the 49ers. So then they can use all of their defensive backs and their linebackers to cover those big, huge weapons that the Chiefs have. So I mean, that's what I wrote down. I was kind of tossing between that and Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is also kind of the ultimate equalizer, like
Okay.
just speed kills,
Yeah.
and he can run by defenses, the best defenses, when you just make the smallest little mistake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could happen where there are 2 or 3 or even 4 big plays because over the course of a game you just lose that guy and all that speed. You don't contain him, so that's something to watch. It intrigues me at least.
Yeah, I think Mahomes against the best pass defense in the league. They've only allowed 169 yards per game during the regular season.
That's incredible.
That's absolutely incredible. And they played the Rams twice, who's one of the most confusing offenses in the league to prepare for. They played the Seahawks and Russell Wilson twice. They played Rodgers twice, including one of the playoffs games. They played Drew Brees, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Odom.
And Lamar Odom and Matt Ryan. So, the question is, can Mahomes move the ball against this solid of a defense? Is very intriguing to me.
I would say if he can do it against the Lions, he can do it against the 49ers.
Yeah,
That's
because the
what you always
Lions,
say.
Lions are only like the 26th worst pass defense in all football.
Yeah,
so.
but they improved though at one point.
Yeah.
Remember, they were the worst in history going down for a little while.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited to just watch this game as a whole. From I just think you have two good teams, and I know I said that earlier, but that's really what it comes down to.
I'm excited
You're
for
gonna
it.
have
I
two
am.
good teams
Yeah.
that are just gonna be punching. I feel like it's just gonna be back and forth. It might take a little bit to get the scoring going, but once it does, it's going to be really interesting to see how they all respond to each other's,
Yeah.
their punches, if you will. So another cliche here is whoever wins a turnover battle is going to win this game. So,
Yeah. There you go.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Hit him with another one.
yeah. So I'll do one more little matchup here before we get into some Super Bowl memories. In your guys' opinion, who wins a coaching matchup here? I feel like it's really interesting. You got a 40-year-old guy with Kyle Shanahan. You got a 61-year-old guy with Andy Reid who's been around the block or two. Ryan, I'm really curious what you think about this one.
This is kind of tough because I really respect Andy Reid. I think he just is a winner everywhere he goes, and he is very, very good at preparing his team for games like this. He has experience in this kind of a game, but so does Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah,
And he was there really recently, and he knows what not to do now
exactly.
because they just fell apart.
Later,
true.
But he scored 28 points early.
Yeah.
So he also has that on his resume
Yeah.
against the Patriots. That the comeback should not have happened if a couple things just went their way.
Yeah.
Or they bounced their way.
Yep.
So I think this matchup, Kyle Shanahan is actually, in my mind, is winning this coaching matchup because they, like I've already brought up, they still have their whole offensive playbook to work with. They have defeated everybody just running it down their throats game after game after game, And the last time anybody has tape on them throwing the ball is maybe week 13.
13, yeah. It's been a long time.
Did they not play the Lions this year? They did.
The 49ers?
Yeah.
No, they did
No.
not.
Okay. So.
No.
Okay.
That
Whenever
was last year. Last year they
Whenever
did.
that was, that'd be the point at which.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah.
When they opened up their playbook.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had to. We're so good.
Lions are always in close games. So. I think so. You look at it, you got a old school, new school type of matchup, but it's a little different this time around
Flip flopped, isn't it?
because Andy Reid is he's so good at getting with the times. I feel like that's what I mean. Yeah, he's 61. He's been around the block, but he's never fallen behind. He's never stuck to his ways. Like he gets creative. He gets he's an offensive genius, just like Kyle Shanahan is. So it's kind of. Usually, like last year, you had Belichick against Sean McVay, where it was truly an old school style coach with the new school. I mean, I feel like numbers wise, yeah, that's what you have here, but mentality wise, that's not, because Andy Reid's really not that old school type of coach. He's
you're right.
He's evolved with the game of football. I feel like he's done a really good job with that.
Well, and Shanahan is, like we've been talking about, just running the ball like crazy. He's going back to like the 1960s playbook.
Yeah, when it works, right?
That's why this is a little bit flopped almost. Like you have the older guy. You know what I mean? Like
he seems to know what works, and he's not afraid to just run the ball just because.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what did he do against the Vikings? He ran the ball like 13 straight times.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
New school coaches don't do that. They're like,
and he threw the ball 8 times.
yeah, they're like, wait, we just ran the
next
ball
game.
3 times in a row. It's time for play action.
Yeah.
He just that's just the way it works. I like that you went Shanahan with the slight edge. I actually give the edge to Reid, basically just because he has been a head coach for a lot longer. But at the same time, Shanahan does have Super Bowl experience, more recent experience as well as the OC for the Falcons, and has also been coaching the NFL since 2005 at the age of 25. So it's not like he's this fresh-faced guy that hasn't been there and doesn't know what he's doing. And his dad is a Super Bowl winning coach as well. I think that's beneficial. So, I mean, it's really going to be interesting to see. You got a 40-year-old to a 61-year-old gap, but it doesn't feel like that because they're both there. They're so similar with each other.
They really are.
It's a younger version of Andy Reid in a lot of ways.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, so